Our first look at the Disney treasure. Hello and welcome to the DIS Unlimited DCL Show. Today, we are talking about the Disney treasure. It's Disney's newest ship, the sixth ship in the Disney Cruise Line fleet. The inaugural cruise isn't for a few weeks, but we got a sneak peek. So exciting. We're going to tell you all about it. I'm going to introduce the Dreams team in just a minute. My name is Chris Vorbeck. I'm one of the agents at Dreams Unlimited Travel. I'm filling in today because we really wanted to get this content out to you. And let me introduce the rest of our team. First, of course, is my friend and colleague, Dreams Unlimited Travel agent Elaine Edwards.
Hi, friends.
There you go. And then, of course, the people who made it to New York City to experience the Disney treasure for themselves. They got to see it in live and in person. John Magi, he is CEO and co-owner of Dreams Unlimited Travel. Hi, John.
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
Good. Very excited. Kevin Close. Kevin is Client Services Manager for Dreams Unlimited Travel. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, everybody.
And Dreams Unlimited Travel agent Lori Bushnell. She got to go to New York too, and we're very excited to get your impressions, Lori. Hi, welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you. Nice to have you here. Before we get to all the fun, just a reminder that this show, along with everything we do at DIS Unlimited, is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. We are experts at helping you plan your perfect Disney vacation. No additional cost to book with Dreams Unlimited Travel, none. And we're going to give you insights about your Disney cruise, Disney trip, Universal trip, all of it. But not only that, if you book your cruise with Dreams Unlimited Travel, you get a shipboard credit of up to $1,000, depending on the price of your cruise. I know you always hear nothing's for free. Well, this is one of these situations where you actually get free money on board and it costs you nothing. It's pretty cool. And I always tell folks, I was a Dreams client before I became an agent. I've seen the world from both sides. I know it's great to have experts watching out for you. So get a no obligation quote by going to dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. With all of that done, as I noted, we are talking about the Disney treasure, and there's so much to talk about. We are very excited. You may have seen the ship christening a few days ago. Christening is when there's a big bottle of champagne. They crack it on the front of the ship or the back of the ship. I don't know which. The Disney treasure, they did that via drone, a big drone show. Very cool. A few facts about the Disney treasure. I noted that this is the sixth ship in the Disney Cruise Line fleet. It is the Disney treasure is also the second Wish class ship. It's the sister ship of the Disney Wish, which just preceded it, and then the Disney Destiny, which will follow it. And then there are two additional Wish class ships that are coming along, and they'll be coming out in the years ahead. And there are I think 7 more total ships on the way. So we're going to be doing this a lot. Very exciting. I wanted to bring in Elaine Edwards because Elaine, my sense is that people were kind of like, oh yeah, another Disney Wish, and of course the Disney Wish came out during COVID, but people, once they've seen this ship, I think they're pretty excited about this.
Yes, I will say that I love the Wish. I know a lot of people have very mixed feelings about it, especially people that have been cruising on Disney Cruise Line for a very long time, and they're used to the classic 4 ships, that this is what Disney Cruise Line ships look like. And the Wish is totally different from that. And the rest of the ships in the Wish class will be the same way. And I love it because it is something different. I think the Wish is absolutely gorgeous. I think there are a few layout decisions that were questionable to me, but it is what it is. They did not hire me to build these ships. So with the treasure, it's going to be the same layout, but it looks completely different, which is what I am so excited about, because with the Dream and the Fantasy, that are sister ships, they pretty much look exactly alike on the inside. And same with the Wonder and the
Magic.
Good Lord. I don't know why I forgot that, but the Wonder and the Magic. These 2 ships, and then later the Destiny, and then later the unnamed ship, they all completely different on the inside. And when I saw the first renderings of the treasure, I thought, okay, that is my ship. Like, that is my vibe. All of the dark, deep colors, the themes that they're going to have for the rooms, the themes that they're going to have around the ship. Like, this looks amazing. And I think if you are a Disney theme park, like you love the theme parks and you love all of the lands in the theme parks, you're going to love the treasure.
Just a reminder that the Disney Treasure will be doing 7-night itineraries going between the Western and the Eastern. It kind of flips back depending on the week. And it's 7 nights. Leaves each Saturday and comes back the following Saturday. So it's a nice, and I agree with you. People, well, I always say about Disney folks, we all love change as long as everything stays exactly the same. The Wish was completely different, and people didn't really like that. It's also only does 3 and 4 night cruises, so it's hard to get to know a ship in 3 or 4 nights. So I think on 7 nights you'll get a good sense. But let's get a sense from the folks who were up there. They got to actually see this. Let me bring in John Magi. As I mentioned, he is CEO of Dreams Unlimited Travel. John, give me your initial impressions, having been to New York, having actually seen this ship. What did you think before, and did you come away different after you were actually on board?
So let me just start with a little bit of business. Dreams Unlimited Travel was invited. We were invited to the actual christening ceremony, which Kevin and I attended, and then we were invited to a preview. So Kevin and I were on the preview tour of the Treasure, which was docked in New York City, and also Lori came along. We were allowed to bring an agent, so Lori was able to join us for that. So initial impressions are, again, what everyone is saying, incredible ship, beautiful ship. The details are unbelievable. And I've been on the Wish. I am not a fan of the layout of the Wish. And it's the exact same layout for the Treasure, but I feel like the theming has overcome those challenges. There are some interesting areas of the ship that to me feel like they dead end in certain areas, that they don't have a natural flow to them. There are places in the ship that are way too small. We're going to talk about some of the venues in a bit. And in my opinion, these venues are small. But overall, the theming is incredible. I know Kevin's going to mention this too, but we were enamored by the carpets. And I know it's a dumb thing to be enamored by, but every single carpet was a work of art. And it's, it follows what they do on the Wish, which is now you can tell which way you're traveling by looking at the carpet. The head or the top is always going to be forward and the back is always going to be aft. But beyond that, they are works of art. And the IPs that they're using, the intellectual properties that they're using for this ship, resonate more with me than they did on the Wish. The overall Aladdin theme is just unbelievable, beautiful, fits perfectly in everything. The different areas of the ship, every deck is themed for a different Disney IP. So you have the Lion King and Encanto, and all of the good stuff that we all love about those movies are kind of picked out and put in the ship.
And
but
it even,
again,
John, it even goes to the fish extenders, what we call the fish extenders that are outside your door on the original ships. They're fishes, so that's why they're called fish extenders. But I saw Lion King ones. I saw, they're themed to the kind of staterooms of each deck. They've done a great job with the theming on this ship.
Right. Exactly. That's the level of detail and again, the quote unquote fish extenders are all that way. We're going to get into theme of the actual staterooms. In my opinion, the stateroom themselves are nicely themed, but they're not crazy themed. They're not, you're not going to walk in and go, oh, this is really Lion King or this is really this. They're much more subtle, which is nice. All very, very nice. So again, and we're going to talk a lot about certain areas of the ship. This is going to be the ship people are going to want to be on for these specific areas.
Kevin, let me bring you in because I want to get your first impressions. How did you feel coming off that ship?
It's beautifully themed. Each section is just incredible, and I don't want to sound like a freak either, but the carpets are brilliant. And as you walk around the ship, I found that I was reacting to, holy moly, this is beautiful. The hallways are beautiful. The elevator banks are beautiful. There's one Aladdin themed carpet in front of the elevator bank that's from the Cave of Wonders. I think that's what it's called. The colors are just incredible. As I was walking around the ship, I got I got reminiscent about the Wish. There are places where the flow is different, but they've still done things that are, I think, are brilliant. They've put an actual coffee shop sort of centrally located in the ship, as opposed to having to go up to
Cove
Cove
Cafe.
Cafe.
Yeah.
This is centrally located, so it's not as much of an event to go get a cup of coffee. The stores all looked beautiful. They were not open to us. But you know me, I had my nose up against the window. Um, it's beautiful. I like the
Awesome.
theming better. This one's a lot less, and please don't be offended. This one's a lot less princessy.
Right. Well, and I think they said the Disney Wish. Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
have a question for Kevin. What was the one thing you saw in the store? You said to me, "This is the thing everyone's going to want in the store."
There's a navy blue leather embossed tote bag. It's got the Disney
Insignia.
logo embossed on it. I believe there's a backpack, there's a crossbody bag, and like a little pouch. In my opinion, it's going to be popular.
No. I have to get my Disney Treasure Spirit jersey, of course. Go ahead,
I have
Elaine.
a few questions before we keep going, because I don't want to forget to ask the questions I want to ask. One on the carpet. I always knew that the carpets were directional, but I never remember when I'm on board. How do we remember when we're on board? Because and I'm always getting lost on the front app. But my question really is about the staterooms. On the Wish, I felt like they were not so nautical like the four classic ships, but it almost, because they were so white, they very much felt like just like a modern high-end hotel, and then they had the little touches of whatever the princess theme was. Are these staterooms the same way, or are they different?
Yeah, I would say that my impression of the stateroom is that it's kind of a blank canvas with the touches of the theming for the floor you're on. So, if you want that, magic wonder type of feel in a stateroom, I don't think you get that here. I think you get more of a like you said, a clean slate type of thing with these little touches. So it's going to be up to folks to say whether they like that or not. That's certainly up to them. But I found it more appealing to the eye,
and more relaxing.
And we're going to talk more about staterooms in just a minute. Let me get Lori in here to get her first impressions, and then we're going to dive down deep into all these things. But Lori, what first impressions? How did you like this ship?
I loved it. I mean, from the minute you walk into the ship, and you get that huge atrium there. Absolutely beautiful. And I echo what John and Kevin said with the theming. I was going to mention the carpets also. I mean, everybody was taking picture after picture of just the carpets. And
the carpets were really popular on these tours.
Yeah. In the hallways, they had recessed lights. They were round metal lights that they had cut out like a square, and there's designs all around the outside of it so that it kind of projects onto the recessed portion of the ceiling. Absolutely beautiful. In the theme of whatever that hallway was.
I was blown away by that too. It's sort of this laser cut metal around these lights, but they've recessed them in a way that they shine within the square. So it's kind of not only beautiful, but it's an engineering marvel that someone has gotten the size right, the distance from the light right, and the distance from the wall right, that it makes the perfect projections. There was, as an example, was a Lion King. So you've kind of got the Savannah, Pumbaa, Lion King, little vignette going on in these little recessed ceilings that I don't know people would notice unless they really were looking for that.
Did you guys, when you came in, were you brought in through the Grand Hall? What was your impression of that?
It's vast.
Yeah, we did. We were brought in through the Grand Hall. Super impressive, but it's the same scale as the Wish, so I was expecting that.
Very different colors,
Again,
though. The color scheme is very, very different from the Wish.
That's what I was getting at. It was definitely, it's like you walk into the Wish and it's a little bit more subtle. It's a little more subdued. This is vibrant and alive and saturated.
It's
really,
jewel toned.
I didn't hear.
There's
Kevin,
also
go
a
again.
stage
I didn't hear what
in
you
the
said.
Grand Hall.
Yeah.
I said it's jewel toned.
Oh, yeah. And I love having the Aladdin figure there, and then the kind of on the Wish, of course, they have a slipper over on the other side. This one they have the genie, and it's weird. I read some people say it felt dark. I at least in what I've seen, it didn't seem dark to me at all.
No,
I didn't get that
all.
impression at all.
I will say one thing though. Can I just sort of clarify? The day we were on the ship was an overcast day in the city. It was a little bit of drizzle and it was a little bit dark. So maybe that was impacting people's what the impression of the atrium was, because it wasn't bright and sunny, sort of streaming into the ship. That could have been it, but I don't believe that was true.
Let's talk about dining, because I know you got to experience some of the dining. Two of the restaurants are similar to the Wish, World of Marvel, although different, and then 1923. But Plaza de Coco is new on this ship. This celebrates the movie Coco, the Disney Pixar movie Coco. And Lori, I know you got to both be in the space, but also got to eat some stuff. Tell us about Plaza de Coco.
Okay. We actually didn't eat there. We ate in the Marvel restaurant, and they gave us
Perfect.
kind of an overview of the food from the three restaurants. But it's in the same space that Arendelle is on the Wish. So when you go in there, you go down that long hallway, and it's incredibly well themed. They've got that, I forget what you call it. It's
like a
all
row
the
of
family
shops is what it looks
pictures.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got the there's a display shortly after you enter into that hallway that has all of the colorful flowers and the pictures of the deceased family members and the candles and everything, like very similar from the movie. They've got that set up in there, and then once you get into the restaurant itself, it's set up as a plaza at night. And there's a big party going on, and they have the windows looking like it's nighttime, and all the bright colors. And right in the center of the restaurant is a small stage where they put on the little performances, and I guess they have two different shows, since you rotate through it twice in your 7-night sailing. The first night they have a mariachi group, and then the second night they do a Dia de los Muertos celebration. Another thing I was really interested to hear is they had the head chef and the dessert chef come out and talk to us, and they brought them directly in from Mexico, so everything is authentic Mexican food as you can get. So it's a really beautiful, fun space.
Wow, awesome! Yeah, that room just seems spectacular to me, really, and it seems like the theming is they really doubled down on the theming about it. It sounds cool. Kevin and John, you guys got to do 1923, which 1923 is on the Disney Wish, but I understand that 1923 is going to be different on the Disney Treasure.
Yeah, actually, we didn't get a chance to do 1923. We were all sort of on the same
sorry,
tour.
I meant World of Marvel is what I meant.
We did,
right?
World of
Marvel. Right.
We didn't, Kevin and I didn't do Plaza de Coco because we got to a point in the day where we decided to end the tour for us, because I've gotten to my certain age where I can either do something during the day or do something at night. I just can't do both. So I got a little tired, and we sort of got cut out before that. But yeah, we had a chance to experience the Marvel restaurant. Again, Lori mentioned we had a tasting menu from all the different restaurants. Going to be honest with you, I was not impressed. But again, this is a big event. There were, hundreds, if maybe not thousands of people touring this ship. And so they were trying to give us a little bit of a sample of everything. It wasn't anything where I would go, oh my gosh, this is the best thing I've ever had. It was kind of like serviceable food. But the show,
I thought it was okay.
Did you really? You're wrong.
Yeah.
there's a different show about, like Kevin talked about the food, but there's a different show in the restaurant. It's more about Groot and, sort of this cute little Groot thing that they do. I don't believe we saw the entire show. We saw snippets of it, but it was entertaining. The problem I have with this restaurant is the same thing I have on the other ship. It's too loud. It's just, you can't talk to your table mates. You can't really, in my opinion, enjoy it. If you're going for the show, great. I hope you'll love it, but it was too loud for me. But Kevin, tell me about what you liked about the food.
First of all, I thought this iteration of the Marvel restaurant is better than the Wish. I felt in the Wish like I was eating in a storage locker. And they were showing us clips of movies that had already been out. It seemed throwaway. This seemed a little better themed. The restaurant was a little more interactive. I'm not a Marvel fan, but there were lights on our table that did things and buttons to push. I thought it was more fun than the one on the Wish. The food, they had options from each of the restaurants. I mean, I had a steak and I thought my steak was well done. Not well done. It was well prepared.
Right.
And your appetizer was a selection of 3 appetizers. It was like a sampler, and dessert was the same way. And I thought it was okay. I thought the food was okay. It's good for a Disney ship, is what I would say.
Which define that for me. Meaning, this isn't fine dining. This is main dining. If you want fine dining, Disney does have their 2 Palo and Enchanté, but this is your standard dining, right?
It is. I thought it was okay for the sort of standard main dining room stuff, but it was, as John said, there were hundreds of us, and they were trying to get us all fed in a certain amount of time, which I think is very similar to when you're on a ship. But
right.
I thought they did a good job.
I just want to point out 2 things before we move on from Plaza de Coco. And I know Lori said these. I just want to emphasize them. The fact that they have 2 different shows and they're both going to be like these full shows, like that, I really, really, really like that. And the fact they brought in these chefs and they're cooking their native food, like that's a big like attention to detail thing. And that is truly what sets Disney ships apart from any other cruise line, is this, how they truly, when they are portraying other cultures, they go and they visit those cultures to really get the nitty gritty of all of the details so they can get it just right. So I just think that's really neat.
Yeah, and 2 shows, I believe, in the Marvel as well. I haven't been able to see what the second one's going to be, but I understand that there's 2 shows in there as well. I'm going to turn to shows. 2 of the shows will be returning. Seize the Adventure, which is on the Disney Wish, and I think is very fun. Really enjoy it. Also, Beauty and the Beast, which I also really like. But they will have a brand new show on the Disney Treasure. That's Moana. And Lori, you got to see at least the first part of it, right?
Yeah, we saw the first act, which, I mean, I'm a huge Moana fan anyway, so I was so excited about it. But they did an absolutely amazing job producing it, and the choreography and the scenery, and just, I would say on caliber with a Broadway show. I mean, just absolutely amazing. And of course, they do the highlight songs, and just absolutely amazing.
And I assume you did not get to see the big Tafiti puppet that they're going to have in there. That's supposedly the biggest puppet that they've ever done. I mean, it's supposedly, I don't know, what, Elaine, do we decide 12, 15, 20 feet tall? It's big.
Oh, yeah. We had a lot of confusion about that because it was written different things in different places. So, yeah.
Right. I think it was the original writing had it taller than the actual decks. So.
Yeah, right. I think 15 feet. I think 15 feet is reasonable.
Yeah. It's going to be. I'm really, and I've seen a couple people talking about it where they just really saying, "Oh my goodness, this is going to be really cool." So I'm really looking forward to that. Let's talk about some of the locations, and I wanted to start with I'm wearing my Haunted Mansion shirt because what I think most excited about this ship is the Haunted Mansion Parlor, which is a whole on the Disney Wish. It's themed around Star Wars, and people weren't that thrilled with that. But John, you sent the team a note about the Haunted Mansion Parlor, and I got excitement coming through that my email. So talk about the Haunted Mansion Parlor.
It is incredible. I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be the reason why you want to cruise on the Treasure, is to experience the Haunted Mansion Parlor. However, we got to do a little bit of critique, right? Why in the world is it this small bar?
Yes,
I think we counted the seats. I think it's like 40 people could fit in it at one time. It's going to be so popular, and people are just going to be crazy to get into it. The detail.
I think it's going to be a huge source of frustration.
Yeah. The level of detail they've done is incredible. The show we got to experience is incredible. The idea that it's different no matter where you sit, because there is sound and movement and special effects through the entire space. You'll have a different experience every time you go. And one of the things I asked the cast member about, I said, is this going to be something people could get a reservation for? She said, no, absolutely not. This is going to be first come, first serve, which is going to be crazy. And
I have some information on that.
Okay.
I spoke with someone today at Disney. Hang on, I lost an earbud. Hang on. I spoke with someone at Disney today. I won't say who or where, but I'm told that one of the discussions is that there might be a possibility that guests are assigned a time that they can visit the Haunted Mansion Lounge, and that would be like a Palo reservation.
What they did
Yeah,
on the
that's,
Disney Wish when the Star Wars, because the Star Wars one was hugely popular, you almost had like a virtual queue like they do at the and you could also only stay for I think it was 45 minutes because people were just coming and they weren't going anywhere. So and it'll be interesting to see. We will be watching that, of course. That's why you have a Dreams Unlimited travel agent to let you know about
Like, I don't
stuff.
understand. They did it once with the Star Wars Lounge. I don't understand why they wouldn't just do it here, because they know it's going to be popular. I do have a question, though, because I've seen a lot of people ask this. Is there a version of the $5,000 drink?
We did not see it. It was not something that I had a chance to look at a menu and see if that was there or not. We'll have to see. As you guys know internally, I don't know if everybody knows this, but a bunch of us will be on one of the preview cruises. So hopefully at that point, we'll be able to get a little more information about that. I just got to give one more piece of information about the Haunted Mansion Parlor. Again, in speaking to an Imagineer who worked on it, the show, quote unquote, has 8 chapters to it. So there'll be 8 different things that will happen with special effects and a storyline, all themed around the Haunted Mansion ride. And to me, it seems difficult to want to limit people to a certain amount of time in there, because people are going to want to experience all 8 of these chapters. And then you're going to have people who want to stay even more and do it again, because like I said, it's different where you sit. So there you have, I want to go back and I want to experience it from this point of the parlor. I mean, it's an incredible space. And people have said it. I am not the first to say it. Why isn't this in a theme park? Why haven't they done this in the Magic Kingdom? And you know what? Just start printing money.
Right. Open my wallet, take it. And at least on the Wish, and I imagine it will be the case for the Haunted Mansion Parlor, it's adult only in the evening. I think it's 5 or 6 o'clock. It's adult only. So that also seems like it's going to be. There are kids who are going to want to get in there as well. So it's going to be interesting. We will be
open to families during the day. That we're confirmed, but it will be adult at night.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Anything else on the Haunted Mansion parlor? Otherwise, I want to go to the other one that I can't wait to get in, which is the Periscope Pub. This is the keg and compass on the Disney Wish if you're playing the home game. But the Periscope Pub is themed around 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. John, you also spoke about this one and said the theming was really exceptional here.
Yeah, again, spot on with the theming. Everything was incredible. I'm going to let Lori talk about this one a little bit more because I don't think she had a chance to chime in much on Haunted Mansion. So what were your impressions of this, Lori?
I thought it was really neat. It's supposed to make you feel like you're in a submarine. And so the ceiling of it is all glass and kind of a bluish sea color, just really neat. And the bar is well themed. They had some themed drinks that they had set up right on the bar and everything. Just a really fun space.
How big did it feel? Did that one feel small as well? I don't think we spent time on Keg and Compass when we were on the Disney Wish, so I don't remember the size of it. Did it feel small?
And no, it didn't feel nearly as small as the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, I agree that the other bars are a little bit bigger and have a little bit more room to move around in. Plus, this is in the area of the ship with that. I don't know what it's called, but it's going to be a universal entertainment area with seating.
Cerebi is
right.
Cerebi on the Treasure. It's Luna on the Disney Wish for if you're following along.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And because it's over there, it kind of lends itself to having a little bit more space because you can spill out and the crowds can sort of just distribute themselves around that area. Where the Haunted Mansion parlor is off of what's kind of the center of the ship where there's stores and other stuff going on that feels a little bit more crowded.
Lori, did you want to talk about Cerebi? Because this is that 2-level. It's where they do bingo. They do, I think some of the adult shows are in there at night. And Cerebi, I guess it's Lion King themed, right?
Yes. Yeah. Sarabi is Simba's mother in the movie,
right?
And so it's named after her. Yeah, so it's got beautiful doors with a lion etched onto it. And we just did kind of a drive-by with that when we kind of walked in one door and walked out another. But it's a 2-level venue. And from what I understand, it's going to be family entertainment during the day and then adult entertainment at night.
The other one that's very different on this ship is the Scat Cat Lounge, which is based on the Aristocats. It's Nightingales on the Disney Wish. Anyone have? I think this one people kind of like. How this is the one right off the Grand Hall. It's right there when you're on the Grand that main space. But anyone get to check that out?
I know that when we went past it, they were filming. One of the things about this tour was that we were not alone. It wasn't just travel agents. It was a lot of media, and there was a lot of that filming going on. So there are times when we were quickly moved past areas, and that was one of them. So I didn't get a chance to really stick my head in. Lori, did you get a chance to see inside?
Yeah, we went in it for a few minutes. It's basically just a piano bar. There was a gentleman sitting at the piano playing some Disney tunes. They showed us a couple of the drinks. There was a tea sampler or something like that that's specific to this bar, and another cat themed drink that they gave us a sample of. It was pretty tasty. You can get an alcoholic or a non-alcoholic version of it. I didn't catch the name of it, but what's kind of neat about it is the glass that it's served in has picture of a cat in the bottom of it, and you get to keep the glass as a souvenir.
Aww.
For only $5,000, you get to keep the glass.
Yeah, and they didn't tell us how much it was.
Did we skip over the Skipper Society, or did I just miss the entire conversation?
I would not say this is something that's going to make people excited. It's open on both
Really?
sides.
Because I thought this was the thing. Like after Haunted Mansion, everybody would want this.
It's an open lounge. You can get in from either side. One side is the stores. I believe it's going to be more of a meeting place. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There are chairs and a bar, but it's not enclosed like the other spaces.
Right.
It has a cool theme. It's it's very sort of what's the ride?
Adventureland.
It's very Adventureland themed. I mean, it's got
It's themed
parrots
after
and
the Jungle Cruise, right?
Jungle Cruise,
Right.
right? So it's got that sort of whole vibe to it, and it's all very, very. Here's the deal: for those of us who are theme park fans, I think that this ship scratches an itch, right? There's movie fans and there's other people who are different interests with Disney. For those of us who are true theme park fans, this is all going to resonate. So this space resonates with the Disney fan. But as Kevin said, it's a pass-through area. In my opinion, not a lot of seating. So again, you're going to have difficulty sort of sitting and enjoying it. It's just, I wish they would have thought through the spaces a little bit more on the ship and taken from the Wish and said, listen, this is going to be popular. Let's make this bigger. Let's make this smaller. We don't need this. That sort of idea.
This is also not a big space.
All right. The Skipper Society, if you've been on the Disney Wish, this is the Bayou, and it is that in between, and there's pathways on both sides, and I agree on, at least on the Wish, it felt very. It wasn't a relaxing place to go ahead and have a drink to me, but it will be interesting to see if that's different. The 3 and 4 day cruises have a different feel than a 7-day cruise. And so it'll be interesting to see how this fits into that longer cruise cycle. So
Do we know yet? Because on the Bayou, they have, live music going on. Is that also going to be happening here? Or
There's a stage.
Yeah.
There's a small stage. Nothing was happening while I was in there. And I spent I was waiting. I couldn't get into the staterooms because the size of I'm on a scooter, and the size of the tour group, there was no way to get everybody in a stateroom and me in a scooter.
right?
So I spent some time in the skipper's cantina or whatever it's called. There is a stage, but I would say this is more of, as I said, it's going to be more of a meeting place because you can see everything from both sides. There's nothing enclosed about it.
Mm-hmm.
did they give you an indication as to whether, on we get the corny jokes on the Jungle Cruise? I wonder if the waiters are going to do corny jokes in that bar.
I apologize. There were no waiters.
The only
up
one
at the
doing
bar.
corny jokes was Kevin. I don't know what's going to happen on the actual cruise itself.
Let's talk staterooms. I know you guys all got to tour the Crown Jewel, the Tower Suite. Only one of these on board. This one, and John has mentioned the theme park people are going to love this. Themed around Epcot. John, you want to start, and then we'll get Lori's impressions.
Yeah, I mean this is cool and impressive and awesome. And if you have the money, please contact your Dreams Unlimited travel agent.
We're happy to book this for you.
We are so happy to book it for you. It's very expensive, but it's an awesome space and it's very cool. And it's, it sleeps 8 people, I believe. And one of the things that someone commented on the video we posted about it was, it doesn't seem very Epcot. But it's not supposed to be like you're sitting in Epcot. It's supposed to be reminiscent of Epcot and have these little drops. There's a figment. There's sort of a piece of artwork that reminds you of Spaceship Earth. So it's got that very cool vibe to it. But again, I love Disney and I love the stuff they do and the attention to detail. But this is not something that a lot of people are going to get a chance to experience. And it kind of makes you sad. It's like, this is the type of thing, this should be somewhere else. This theming should be somewhere else, in my opinion. But it was very cool.
And that was actually my critique, where they're adding Tower Suites to the Disney Dream, and we believe they'll do it in the Disney Fantasy when it goes in for a refurb. And again, this is so few people get to 8 people every cruise get to experience this. It's very different, and this one particularly sounds so cool, and none of us are going to get to see it. So, boo. Although Lori, I heard you tried to hide away in stash, find some way that you could stay in that space so you didn't have to get off.
Yeah, I tried to hit in one of the walk-in closets and
Right.
found me and kicked me out.
Did you
Yeah,
give me
no,
your impression of that space?
absolutely amazing. I mean, it's almost 2,000 square feet. It's bigger than my house. You know, it's
And about the same price.
One of the bedrooms. What's that?
And about the same price.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. One of the things that I thought was the coolest about it was the children's bedroom has 2 bunk beds in it, and the ceiling has lights that are, mimicking stars. And if you watch it for a minute, the outline of Figment shows up in the ceiling, and it just kind of runs constantly
wow.
through. It was so cute. I mean, I'd want to sleep in there. I wouldn't bother with the other ones. Give me one of the bunk beds. But yeah, I think there's 4.5 bathrooms in it, which I don't know. That might be a little bit overkill for just 8 people, but that's just me.
I also
But
want
yeah,
to say
beautiful.
something too is they were very adamant about pointing out to me, because they know that Kevin and I travel in an accessible stateroom, that the first floor is accessible. It has a first floor bedroom and there's a accessible bathroom, but accessible to one person is not accessible to everybody. And knowing the space that Kevin needs for his scooter and the space we would need, I don't know that it would actually work for somebody in a scooter or in a wheelchair per se. But it does have that first story bedroom, so you don't have to climb the scary spiral stairs up to the second floor.
Right. Let's talk about the other staterooms. Lori, I know you got to see them all. Walk us through veranda, ocean view, inside. All again, as John mentioned, different theming on each one. But walk us through what you saw. I know the question that I get asked most and have been asked most is there are not many drawers, and Disney told us they built the Disney Wish for 3 and 4 days. Is there more storage space in these staterooms?
I don't think so. I didn't notice that there was a ton, although to be honest, they were rushing us in and out of those rooms so quickly. And it was hard to really take an awful lot in. I thought that they looked very similar layout wise, and how they were appointed as the ones on the Wish.
What
Yeah,
was your
agree with
favorite
that.
theme that you saw?
Keep in mind, there were
I really liked
15 or
the Lion
18
King.
people on this tour, and they were all going into
At
the
least,
staterooms
yeah.
at the same time, and everybody wanted to take the same picture.
Well, and some people were videotaping too, and they wanted to be in there by themselves with nobody else in there. So it kind of, those of us who were kind of zipping in, just taking a few pictures, we didn't get a ton of time to, really take in everything we would have liked to.
Going back to Elaine's question, my favorite sort of overall theme were the Lion King staterooms. Again,
Yeah.
between the quote unquote fish extenders and the rug and the theming inside, I felt like those were the ones that appealed to me the most out of all of them. But a lot of folks had a lot of different reactions to everything. I mean, everybody was excited about all of them. So, it's going to be, again, one of these preferences things where people are going to want to be in a specific theme stateroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we find that a lot with our clients, that they will request, we want to be in this theme. And so that's one of the things that we do as agents, that even though this ship is not quite yet out there and nobody really knows what room is what theme, we work very hard because we kind of have a guide that lets us know so we can get you into that theme.
And Elaine, do you remember what all the different themes are? I know Lion King is concierge ones, but I was looking for it before. I thought they sent us a list of what all the themes were for the different staterooms, but I cannot for the life of me either find it or remember. Do you remember?
They did. Yeah, I will look real quick because I'm getting it. The problem is that we've been talking so much about the Destiny lately. I have the
Right.
Destiny in my mind, and I'm like getting them all mixed up now.
Yeah, I know.
And
I'll
next
just
up will
mention
be
that.
the adventure. So, we got that one that we have to learn. So we'll figure it out.
Right,
Yes.
and that goes on sale next week or the week after. Yeah.
Coming up.
No, next week.
The other spaces in the treasure that are the same as the Disney Wish include Triton's Lounge, Hook's Barbery, which is you can get a gentleman, you can get an awesome shave slash facial there, and have a smoked old fashioned. Super awesome, love it.
Can I talk about that real quick?
Yeah, go.
I know it's the exact same as the Wish, and that's when I go on a ship. That's one of the things I love to do. I love to get a shave. Awesome space for men. It's kind of like an old-fashioned barber shop inside, but with a pirate theme, which I know is kind of weird. But it's a really cool experience. And I know a lot of guys might be like, oh, what am I going to do in a spa, or what am I going to do I'm not going to get a manicure or something like that. A great experience for guys.
Yeah, really lovely. And in the evening it's also a bar, and they have an awesome smoked old fashioned that is they pull it up, and they have presentation as well, but it is really, really good. So it's I agree with you. I think it's one of the great spaces on the ships.
Okay, I have the stateroom themes before we get too far away from it.
Yep.
So the stateroom themes are Aladdin, Pocahontas, Encanto, Up, Finding Nemo, and Luca. The concierge rooms are Lion King, and then the 2-bedroom suites some of them are Bagheera, and some of them are Raja, and then the Tower Suite, which we've talked about, is Epcot.
We got to see Raja. We got to see a 2-bedroom concierge suite. Again, lovely, terrific. All that stuff is awesome. I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something.
And also not as expensive as a Tower Suite, but also very expensive.
Very expensive. We didn't get a chance to see the Up staterooms. That was one that we didn't get a chance to experience, but we got a chance to see most of the other ones.
The kids clubs are also the same as they are on the Wish. Now, on the Disney Wish, they definitely kicked up the kids clubs a notch. And every time I'm on that ship, they have a slide that takes you from the Great Hall down to the kids club, and I'm always wishing I could shrink down because I would love to be on that slide. But Lori, did they tour you through the kids clubs?
Yeah, we had a little bit of extra time. I think they'll think that was initially on the tour, but we took a quick zip through them, and I found it almost exactly the same. I mean, with some differences, the same as the Wish.
They have a Star Wars area. They have a Avengers area. They have a Princess area. I'm trying to think of whether I've forgotten one. Elaine, have I forgotten one? They're exceptionally well done. The kids clubs are really, really amazing spots for those. It's 3 to 10 years, 3 through 10. They're great spots.
Yeah,
highly recommend.
Just because they're the same as the Wish, we shouldn't really, gloss past it. How absolutely fantastic the kids' spaces are on these ships.
Yeah,
this is where Disney excels beyond any other cruise line I've ever been on. Is their kids' programming? We got a chance to see the Edge. Again, very similar to the Wish, but just because it's similar doesn't mean it's any less spectacular. It's pretty impressive.
My now 13-year-old, he doesn't do the Edge because you have to go to the one above, so he goes to Vibe. But just really, really cool. Very. He's actually spent a lot of time in there, so it was pretty awesome. John, you mentioned pool decks, so talk pool decks.
Yeah, pool decks, very similar to the Wish, all, very well done. And, this is where you get sort of a classic nautical feel is up on the pool deck, and it's all very the same. They were very proud of the fact that they want to point out that many of the pools have the ability to be covered. So they then turn into stages for the nighttime events or the sail away party and things like that. They thought that was great. We had a chance to see the kids' splash area. Awesome space, you know.
It's all themed on Toy Story.
It's a Toy
Yeah.
Story themed space. Really, really cool. So this, and you know, all of the similar stuff you'd find on the Wish again on the Treasure as far as that goes. And again, it's easy to say, oh, it's all the same stuff, but it's really Disney-fied and really beyond. It's very, very cool.
And not
And I
everyone's
think-
been on the Wish. I'm always cognizant that not everybody's been on the Wish. So, particularly if you've never been on a Disney ship, your mind's gonna just be blown away. It's a very, very special place. Yeah, Elaine, go.
I think we need to clarify too, for those guests that have been on the other ships but haven't been on the Wish, the pools are very different in this class of ship, because in the Classic 4, you know, you have your main pool, you have the little kids pool next to it, and then you have an adult pool. This is different. There's actually 11 pools on these ships, because they make them smaller, but they spread them out all over the top decks. So you can always find, I felt like it made things less crowded, because I could always find a pool that had little to nobody in it if I just kind of like scoped it out. So I liked it a lot.
One of the big critiques that I get is with the adult space on this class of ship, which is far to the back. It's small, and this is also where they have the original coffee bar. The Cove Cafe is back there on a dead end, so you kind of have to go find it. And this space, like, I was frankly a little hopeful that that might change. I knew it wouldn't, but this is one of the real criticisms that I hear about this particular class of ships.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to tour that, or at least I wasn't part of the tour that got a chance to see it. I assumed it was the same as the Wish. And again, I'm right there with you, Chris. This is not an impressive space for adults to hang out. It is so much better on the Magic and the Wonder than on the Wish, in my opinion. So, you know, I don't know where the decision-making process is in all this, where someone has decided that, listen, we're going to take away from the adult space and use it somewhere else, but they made the same decision here.
Yeah. Any other impressions I want to get to? We mentioned 7-night itineraries, either going to Western, that's Cozumel, it goes to Grand Cayman, it goes to Jamaica, and it goes to Disney Castaway Cay, or the Eastern, which goes further south down to St. Thomas and I forget the other island, and then up to Castaway Cay, St. Martin. Yep. So those are the two itineraries that this ship is going to be doing year-round. Just keep churning. And Lori, did you have a chance to look at some pricing for? I know we wanted to talk a little bit, give people a sense of what pricing was.
Yeah, I hopped on and I got some general prices. If there's 2 adults on the Eastern Caribbean itinerary, I looked at the February 1st sailing of next year. The inside rooms run about a little over $5,500. There were no ocean views available on that sailing, so I wasn't able to get that. The verandas were about $7,800 for summer of 25 on the Western for 2 adults. Pricing's a little bit more on that one. Inside was running about $5,900. Ocean view, $6,300, veranda, $7,200. And then I looked at some for families of 4 with younger children. Let's see. I priced out an Eastern. That one inside was about $10,200. Ocean view, $11,000. Veranda, $12,000. Same family and a Western for next summer. Inside about $9,600. Ocean view $10,200. Veranda $11,200. And then I priced out for that same family of 4 with younger children one of the very merry times for next fall The December 13th sailing inside was about 7,600, ocean view 8,100, and veranda 8,900.
The pricing you got for the very maritime cruises seemed to be okay. I mean, I feel like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, and I was surprised that it was a lot lower than the summertime.
it's just further out, I think. And I'm going to say to folks, listen, if you want to sail, you know, at Christmas time and experience all of that, now's the time to book. I got to go into my salesman hat for just a minute. The beginning of the year is when everybody plans their vacation. January, February, everyone's got their vacation time and they're looking to book their cruises or their Walt Disney World vacations or Universal, whatever it is. Now, between now and the end of this year is when you really want to get your 2025 vacation on the books, because first of all, the sooner you book, the better the price. And second, the better the availability. And I think that's Lori's pricing example points out that, listen, if you book now for next holiday season, you're going to do pretty well and have everything secure. And again, small deposit, you could pay over time. And also you get a generous shipboard credit from Dreams Unlimited Travel. I will stop selling now.
And I always tell folks, in fact, I was just booking for a client and they waited, it was 3 days between when they reached out and when they said, okay, let's go. The price changed in those 3 days. Disney generally the prices don't go down. They go up as time goes on. So the book sooner rather than later. Your deposit, if you somehow something happens up until your pay in full date outside of concierge, your deposit is fully refundable. So better to lock something down, lock in that price, and then you can, if things change, we can adjust. So, it's. I wanted to wrap up by just. I hate to do criticisms, but anything that that wasn't as good as expected. I mean, I think generally they've done a really, really awesome job on this ship. But anything that was like oof, and things different from what we've already said on about the Wish.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I've said everything that wasn't, I thought was great. It's a fantastic ship. It is beautiful. The deck, the theming and everything is really incredible to experience, and it's going to be popular, and it's going to be almost probably difficult to book. And again, the only real criticism I have is there's no real change to the layout of the ship, which I understand. They've ordered these ships in advance. It's not like they can go in and say, knock out this wall and make this bigger. But I feel like there could have been a little bit of forethought in the Haunted Mansion parlor and some of these other spaces that are going to be extremely popular. But that's my biggest criticism.
And as you noted, I think the flow on these ships is just, it's strange to me, and places that feel more contained that shouldn't feel, it's a slightly bigger ship than the Dream and Fantasy. It should feel more open, and instead it feels more cramped in some places. So it's kind of strange. Lori, Kevin, anybody else? Elaine?
I would have a hard time criticizing it. I was on it for a couple of hours.
Right, exactly.
Our tour times were fairly strict because there were other tours before us, other tours after us. So you got the space for X amount of time and then you moved on. So it's not a way to get the real feel of the ship. It's more an overview.
Right. And a 7-day cruise is a very different experience than a 3 and 4 day cruise. So, Elaine, any other thoughts that you have? And I'm sure you're very excited.
Actually, I have a question for everybody. Is the ship finished? Because when the Wish came out, not only was it delayed a month, but when our staff was on the first couple of cruises, they talked about they were still painting ceilings and they had scaffolding in the main hall or the grand hall. Is that going to happen to our guests that are on the maiden voyage? Or is it pretty much done?
That's a really good question and a really valid point. I'm going to say no. I did not experience any part of this ship where I thought, well, that still needs to be fixed or that still needs to be painted. I don't know what happened with the Wish but it feels like this ship was launched in a similar fashion to the Dream and the Fantasy. Kind of like they gave it enough time. It wasn't rushed to get it going. There are several sailings now with just Disney cast members on them, which will give them enough time to work out the kinks and enough time to get everything finished. And then there are 2 or 3, I believe there might be 3, preview cruises where it's invited folks like media and travel agents. And again, we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but the christening ceremony was unbelievable.
Stunning.
So it feels like someone said, listen, we're going to do it right this time. We're not going to do that weird christening that they did for the Wish, but we're going to do it right. And we're going to make sure that this ship is ready for folks. I did not experience anything that wasn't show ready.
I think, John, what happened was COVID. COVID happened during the Wish.
But again, Disney's smart enough. There's enough people who have been doing this for, what is it now for cruise since 1998 was the first Disney Cruise Line sailing. They've been doing this long enough to know how to make it work and how to make it right. And the fact that they got thrown by COVID, I don't think it's an excuse, to be honest with you. But hindsight's 2020. But this ship, in my opinion, is ready to go.
Yeah, I think they learned a lot, and the Wish rollout was challenging, I think. With that, as Rhino would say, we're going to bring this ship to shore. Before I do that, Elaine, how can people get in touch with you?
So my email is Elaine, ELAINE, at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. And you're welcome to email me or just go right to our site.
Awesome. Lori, how can people get in touch with you?
Okay. Mine is Lori, Lori, at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com.
And Kevin and John, you just send anything to Dreams Unlimited Travel. They get it. They get everything. So
I prefer, if you want to contact me, I prefer 20s. Discreetly tucked into an envelope. I will get my
His Venmo works, let me tell you. If you want to reach me, Chris V at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Yes, there's a Chris, so you need to put the V in. Chris V at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. John, Kevin, Lori, and of course, Elaine. Thanks all for being here. Elaine, always a pleasure to do this with you. Thank you all. We really appreciate it. For you, just a reminder, depending on where you're watching or listening, YouTube, like and subscribe. If you have Disney treasure questions, leave them in the comments below. We're going to be doing some of those preview cruises, so we'll get answers for you. We'll find out if you have additional questions. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave a review. All of that really does help us, and it's so much appreciated. With that, we will say see you real soon.